Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new art video. I am super excited for today's video as it is a sketchbook tour. This square sketchbook took me a year to finish, just like the last sketchbook I finished. So let's get right on to the first page. So for the first page, I decided to do chickens. And I did 4 chickens with watercolor and a little bit of colored pencil. I'm actually making these into a sticker set where you can purchase them in my shop, which is launching May 1st of 2025. So watch out for that. Moving on, I saw these references on Pinterest and I just loved the blocky look of them, so I decided to fill a sketchbook page with these 2 gouache paintings with this kind of blocky style, and I really enjoyed painting them and experimenting with a flat brush. The left one, I was trying to plan out some packaging supplies for my art shop. The right one is just some cute little kitties done in gouache. The scene on the right, I did in gouache, and I actually have a video of doing this one. A lot of these pages have been filmed and are available to you if you want to see the process and how I painted them. Next are some froggies done in gouache, and the whales are done in watercolor. The whales will be a sticker set as well. One thing I noticed with this sketchbook, I did a lot of little paintings throughout. There's a bunch of moths on one page, there's some chickens on one page, and little mushrooms on one. And I just thought that was an interesting thing I decided to do. In this sketchbook, I really enjoyed just opening up a page and kind of theming it in one direction. So, like as you see here, there's another page with little plants. The right page I did only with colored pencil, and that was fun to experiment with layering with different colors. This next page is one of my favorites I probably have done in my sketchbook. This is the sketchbook spread I really fell in love with painting food with watercolor. I decided to do one page sweet themed and then the other page savory themed with savory foods. I really loved how these 3 turned out, the 3 upper ones. And the sweet page I'm also making into a sticker set. This next page is just some landscapes. I was also testing out some new gouache I got, some Knicker Poster color gouache. And something that I found after a while from having the sketchbook closed, that the paint would transfer over to the next page, as you can see. So that's just something to take note of if you're buying or using this gouache. So this next page is, as you can tell, themed by vegetables. And well, technically tomato is fruit, but mostly vegetables. And I did a couple different vegetables with different mediums. So the ones here, I was testing out some acrylic markers and I loved how the baby tomatoes turned out. And then I did some with gouache and watercolor. These next two pages are kind of all over the place. Well, definitely the right one, but my favorite out of all of them is definitely the bee. And I just really liked how this little pie came out. I used the acrylic markers again for these, and I don't know, I just had so much fun making this little pie. These next two pages, I used fine liners for most of it, and this is really the only page I just used fine liners. And looking at it, I really should experiment and do more with fine liners. And I didn't add any color to the left because I think I just wanted it to be white and black. Next, I did food illustrations with watercolor again. My favorites are the French toast, the egg and bacon sandwich, the breakfast toast, and the grilled cheese sandwich. Next, you can definitely tell that this sketchbook spread was heavily inspired by castles. These all were done with gouache as well. These next two pages, as you can tell, were in the fall time. Fall is one of my most favorite seasons. I love all the colors and the warmth and how the leaves fall and they change different colors. I used a couple of references on Pinterest for these and used watercolor and gouache. These also will be prints available for you when my shop launches. The winter scene on the left is actually a picture I took of our mountain on our property, and it was so pretty that day. It just had fallen fresh snow and the trees were laden with big heavy flakes that made them look so beautiful, so I had to paint that. This painting turned out all right. I'm not in love with it. These next two pages, I'm not thrilled on either. You know, sometimes you're in the mood to paint and you just pick a great reference and you just love how it came out. And some days it's okay if it doesn't come out the way you wanted. Sometimes ideas can get scrapped or you can retry the next day. And even if you don't need to feel like a failure. You just need to learn. In learning and in the process, you're growing in your artistic talents. And every time you pick up a paintbrush, you learn something new or gain a new skill. And at this time, it was winter, so I felt like painting a winter scene, a cabin winter scene with smoke coming out of the chimney. And I really liked how this turned out. This will also be available in my shop. These next two pages are fruit themed. I was actually sick when I painted these two pages. I started with the bunch of apples and then it all added from there, and I moved over to the orange page, and I'm really happy with how the orange tree turned out. I think it's funky and fun to look at. Coming to the end of the sketchbook, these 2 pages, I tested out some new acrylic markers. And I had never really tried acrylic markers, so I did a whole page of frogs. And I also filmed that video, so I will link it down below. And for the last page, I kind of wanted it to be tied to the first page. So instead of chickens, I did 2 geese and 2 ducks. Well, ducklings and then a full-grown duck. My favorites turned out to be the 2 ducklings and the African goose in water, which we actually have on our farm. We have 2 African geese and they're so fun. That is it for the sketchbook tour, everyone. Thank you so much if you made it to the end, and I truly hope you enjoyed seeing my sketchbook, and I hope you got inspired by what I painted and tried out in my sketchbook. I had a lot of fun in this one, and I'm a little sad to see it finished, but there will be a brand new sketchbook coming, and I will be starting it with all of you, so look out for that video. If you do enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, as that tells me you are enjoying what I put out. And if you haven't seen my last sketchbook tour, I will link it in the corner for you to go to next. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!